tune in to News Across the Galaxy, where they talk all things LA Galaxy with the NAG boys. Let's start nagging.
I still hear the intro music, but we'll let it play a little bit. In the meantime, do a little dance. Oh no, see, now we're on stage. Welcome to News Across the Galaxy, where we talk all things LA Galaxy, because it's better late than never. I am one of your co-hosts, Bryant Levels, and I have two other hosts with me. We'll start off with the one that's always with me, Mr. Edgar Zuniga. How you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, how's it going? Oh, I'm joined by a little guy right here.
Hey, little guy.
Oh,
Say hi, Ezra.
Place.
What's up,
we're here in the
Ezra?
Citadel,
I
which
go
is
in
what this
another
is behind me,
place.
and we're in outer space.
Perfect. And of course, from like a million miles away, Mr. William Lobos. How you doing, sir?
Yo, what's cracking?
Nothing
Chilling
much.
and grilling,
Nothing
bruh.
much. So I know we were supposed to do a show Sunday. Life happens, and a lot of us try to be adults, so we couldn't go on. We tried Monday, but we couldn't go on again. And I guess Wednesday was the day we were gonna do it. So we are here on a Wednesday night. It's almost 10 o'clock. I know we got to do this. Well, not do this fast, but I know a lot of people watching and tuning in, and the people doing this pod right now have to go to work tomorrow, except for Willis. But we'll do our best. You lucky guy. Anyway, before we get into some of this stuff that we're about to talk to, how you guys doing? How you doing, Willis? How was your weekend?
Not too bad. Got to watch some Galaxy. That's always fun. And I went to go see a movie as well. Went to go see that. What is it? Inside Out movie. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting for that to go.
Yeah, it's a cool movie. Yeah. So
Not Twisters. Nah, come on, Chewy.
well, I guess we could have watched both, but no, it wasn't that one.
Actually, we watched the first movie, and it actually got me really into my feels. Like, I picture
Bing
my
bong,
feelings doing
bing
that
bong.
exactly. What they were doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
My friend
pretty
that
cool.
likes to play. Bing bong, bing bong. Take her to the moon.
Yeah, on the first one. No
Something like
herbs,
that.
actually. No herbs. It was just one of those moments where me watching the emotions play out in cartoon characters was something I could relate to my feelings for some reason. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And yes, Eddie is right. Inside Out is too complicated for kids, but those are really good movies. And I guess Edgar left. I was about to ask him about his weekend, but I guess there he is.
No, he's back.
How was your weekend, Mr. Zuniga?
Is it the weekend again?
Yeah. Well, we're halfway through the weekend, but this past weekend, how was your weekend?
Well, you just saw a little dude crawling over me. That's my weekend. Every weekend.
Beautiful.
No,
Nice.
but I got to go to the game on Saturday. Sunday was my parents celebrated their 50th anniversary.
Hey, congratulations to them.
We all had a guest. Hey, Willis, you got to get ready for this kind of life, man.
Oh yes, Willis, you are about to be Papa Willis.
He's showing you his art. So
Aw,
he-
that's nice.
Tell him to put some more yellow on that, and we're set.
It needs more cowbell.
It all needs more cover. All right, boys. Enough with the small talk. Let's get into some LA Galaxy stuff.
Ayo.
So, I want to say on last week on Wednesday, the LA Galaxy premiered their retro jerseys, their 1996 inaugural season. It was kind of like a what would you say? Because it wasn't like the direct jersey, of course not, because it's Adidas now. So it was kind of like a Amish.
Amish?
I don't know, an
Homage. Homage.
to the 1996 kid, and it wasn't just them. It was the LA Galaxy who had their retro 1996, the Kansas City Wizards who had their retro. Do you remember that jersey? What is the Wiz, the one with the colorful ones?
Oh yes,
Yeah, so
I
that's about
remember
that.
it so much because I remember that I didn't like them at all.
I remember a player
I
named
didn't. I didn't like the team. I love the jerseys, but I hated the team.
what did Preki play for them?
Pricky, yeah,
That's the left footed, right? I remember him
yeah,
always scoring bangers, and he always got me mad
I'm
with that.
back.
yep,
I'm back. I mean,
yep.
that first year it wasn't Preki though. It was Digital Takawira was their best player, and they had another guy named Dr. Kumalo. They had a pretty good team. They actually fought with the LA Galaxy for who got to go to MLS Cup, and it came down to a penalty shootout.
I remember.
And
Yeah, I
Greg
remember
Vanney
they.
scored the game-winning goal that sent Galaxy to MLS Cup in '96.
I
Just to lose to
remember.
DC United. All right, bad
I
memory.
mean,
See that.
that was
What?
hey, why do you have to? Why do you got to remind me of that? That's still one of the worst memories for me as a Galaxy fan. I remember I felt horrible when they died. Wait, when they died. Oh my god, when they lost.
I
It
mean,
felt, it
kind
felt
of.
like a death. I mean, it was so bad
Yeah,
because they were up 2-0 with 80 minutes to go, and then they DC United ties the game, and you get that feeling that damn, they're gonna really mess it up in overtime. And
Straight enough.
sure enough, they
Well,
did.
was it worse than the San Jose one?
Mm,
sorry, yeah, I had to say it was worse. It was
Yeah,
the first
man,
year.
F Dwayne De Rosario. That's all I gotta say. I
yeah.
hate that guy so much. Anyway, and of course, Portland had their retro kit. I actually like Portland's kit.
I'll be
I
right back, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, we got to see it against the LA Galaxy on Sunday, and I think they looked
Mhm.
very elegant. It was a tone of burgundy and darker burgundy shorts, and then same color burgundy socks as their shirt. It looked very elegant to me. I know Edgar did a whole retro kit. Um, he has a whole article on nagtv.com. That's nagtv.com. Go out there and look it up because Edgar always does these kit reviews, and they're beautiful things for these. He always writes beautiful things about these reviews. And of course, the noisy neighbors across the street also got a retro kit for some weird reason. Theirs wasn't the ugly one though. I think the ugly one was the Miami one. To link the new Miami with, I mean, I get it because of money with the Miami Dolphins, but you have like tradition there. You have the Miami Fusion, and you have one of the greatest South American players play for the Miami Fusion and Vive
Mm.
Valderrama, and you're gonna kind of disregard that history. I mean, I think I mentioned this last time that if it doesn't make dollars, then it don't make sense. Shout out to DJ Quick, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically what it was. Because I mean, you look across the street, across town, their colors are the LA Aztecs. They have no ties to the LA
That
Aztecs.
is the dumbest thing to do. That's so dumb.
And we've had this. I think I've had this conversation with some of you guys.
All
That
right, sorry guys, I'm back. This is what dad life is like, and
you're
any other
good. You're good.
podcaster who has kids, it's happened to Josh. It's happened probably to Chris. It's gonna happen to you, Willis.
Beautiful.
And like one day, like you'll see Brian there, and say you can see a Pikachu come from behind him and like drag him down.
I have my own Pikachu. His name's Buster. He's in the back being a grumpy boy
Well, there
right
you
now.
go. So you guys were talking about the kits, right? Well, I just put out an article
Yes,
about
yes.
the kits,
Go right ahead,
and
sir.
I addressed the elephant in the room, which is like, why did LAFC go with the Aztecs look?
Yeah, so dumb.
In the article, not once do they mention the Aztecs or make any references to them. I think they did it for two reasons. One was because the Aztecs are still have a copyright, that you can't use their names, and two,
Ah,
their whole look is trademarked. But two is because um, well, I'm thinking LAFC doesn't. They want to borrow from them, but they don't want to like say, "Oh, this is our legacy," because Galaxy never did it, and I don't think LAFC is going to do it either, which is smart of them. Because there would be such an uproar,
Yeah.
not just from Galaxy fans, but from the rest of the league. But if you read my article, you're going to see that people from across the league have something to say about the LAFC kit too, and
Yeah.
it's so yeah,
So
but
go
it's
to Next
not
TV.
bad.
Yeah.
It's not a bad kid. It's just that you're the question is like why them, right? And of course it's money.
Yeah.
Just
And
like
then
why there's a Miami kid.
And then before you came back, I was mentioning that I had this
Yeah.
conversation. I think with you, Edgar. I have with somebody here that if they were to play into their actual roots, which is in Carson, where they used to wear striped jerseys and they were red and white, if they were to play into that, I think the whole stigma of them getting clowned on because of that would kind of go away. If you bought it, if you accept what it is, like that, you take away the power from everybody else clowning you, right? And now you did something else. The good thing about this one, well, not good thing, but like because it's not the worst one that I from the ones that they came out with. I think the Miami ones are the worst ones because you're linking the NFL with a team in Miami who already had a team in MLS. So for me, that one doesn't make sense. But you know
Yeah.
what? You know that's whatever it is.
Yeah,
That's them.
yeah.
Pretty sure it's
These are
just on
all
a fusion
topics
one.
that are these are all topics that not only do I mention in that article, but uh, just real quick. Last night, I was honored. I don't know if you guys saw. I was honored to be invited as a representative, not just a Galaxy fan, representing NAG on a panel of different podcasters from Liga MX and MLS to discuss the upcoming Leagues Cup.
Oh,
And
nice.
it was more than that. And one of the things that we discussed was the new kits. The guy who spearheaded it, his name is Daniel. He's from the Battered Herons podcast, which is an Inter Miami podcast. So he had his new Miami kit on. I had my new Galaxy kit on. Um,
Damn, you already
and
got one? What the fuck?
Yeah, our good friend Gotti from the Lions Den covers Leon. She was on there, and also Tommy. You guys haven't met Tommy yet. You guys are gonna get to meet him. He's wonderful. He's one of the three hosts of the Scarves and Spikes podcast that covers Atlanta United. We're gonna be playing them next month,
Yeah.
and they have a really good show. They have one of the best shows and podcast shows in MLS. They have all kinds of special guests, and soon they're gonna have us on there as well. But anyway,
Oh.
yeah, we discussed the kids, and that was one thing that came up. Like even the Miami guy, he's like, I don't know why, they asked us to do it. He was like, we were trying really hard for the longest time to get them to do something with Miami Fusion because we want them to embrace that past, but Inter Miami doesn't want to. They just they went with the Dolphins look, and he even mentioned that the owner of the Dolphins, he hates Inter Miami. So wah wah wah.
Maybe that's a reason why, even more so, he was like, well, stick it to him.
And the color scheme is not ugly.
No,
I just feel that they could have went something more within the sport, within the league, something they could have attached tradition to. Um, but whatever, I guess money rules everything. Anyway, that Wednesday night that the LA Galaxy unveiled their kits, they actually played a resurging Colorado team that we thought last season there was no way they were going to be better this season, right? And they're not a bad team. Let me give you guys the lineup for that Wednesday match against Colorado. Of course, J Mac in the back guarding the posts, and your center backs are going to be Yoshida and Neal. Out left, Mickey Yamane. Out right, Mauricio Cuevas. In the midfield, you have Edwin Cerillo and Mark Delgado. Out right, you had Gabriel Peck. Out left, you had Diego Fagundes. As your cam, you had Ricky Puz. And your lone striker was Joseph Paintsill. This match did end with a 3-2 win in favor of the LA Galaxy, but it seemed like one of those games that they should have put this team away earlier, and maybe those two goals should have, you know, uh, been conceded. Here's some of the stats for that game. Overall, the LA Galaxy had 54 possession of the match with 90% pass accuracy. The shots total was 16-3. Well, actually, I didn't even know that Colorado had that many shots. Makes sense why they scored two of them. And then corners were 5-5. All right. Overall thoughts in this match. I know we have some awards to give out, but did you guys think this match was going to be this close? I know, Edgar, you had a midweek with our good friend Matt Pollard from Holding the High Line podcast, Colorado podcast. Did you guys predict this going the way it did?
no. I think we predicted a very close game. I remember I said it was going to be. Can't remember. I'm so sorry. I said it was going to be a 3-2 Galaxy. I'm sorry, 2-1 Galaxy, and he said no, it was going to be 2-1 Colorado. So either way, it was going to be a close game. But we did talk about the improvement of a certain Frenchman named Kevin Cabral, who came into the match waving, his baguette, real angry, and um, credit to him, he scored a goal, and he's been doing a lot better. If you guys didn't catch the show, he talked about how under Chris Armas, uh, Kevin Cabral has found a new sense of confidence, and he's playing with much more energy now. He understands his role. He doesn't have to be the man that scores a goal. He can help set up. So a lot of the times when Colorado's been scoring goals recently, he's the guy that gets the hockey assist. He sets up the pass that
Mm.
leads to the goal. But it just so happened that this time he did score for Colorado, and he ended up taking a tumble into the net, and it messed him
Can't
up
catch
so
a
bad he
break,
had to
bro.
leave at the half.
He can't catch a break.
Yeah, he can't catch a break, but at least he got to score against Galaxy again. He just has our number now,
True,
and it
that's
happens
true.
a lot to us, right?
Yeah, every time there's an ex Galaxy player that comes back to our home, it seems like they play with a little extra sauce. And to be honest, so I think I was watching the game here at home, and I forgot who I was with. And so I said, watch Cabral score this one, and then hit us with a hat trick later on in the match. I'm glad that he didn't, but once he scored that goal, I kind of had that little
Uh
panic
oh.
moment, like, oh, here we go. And I
Yeah.
mean, it's good. It's good to see him succeed in MLS because as much as people didn't like his gameplay here with the LA Galaxy, he was always a good kid. And I just disliked the way that he left and the way that people received him or lack thereof in a playoff match at home. So I'm glad that he's working out over there a little bit more than he was over here, and his soccer dream stays alive. Willis, this match is pretty close.
Yeah.
Um, from the beginning of the whistle to the end, how bad was Jonathan Lewis cooking us?
You know what? It's one of those things where players seem to, you know, really step their game up when they play the LA Galaxy because Lewis has really not had a good stretch of games and has really been a bench player this whole season. But here he comes playing against the LA Galaxy at the digs, and he's out there balling. And he does this every single time.
Yeah,
Honestly, we got lucky he didn't score on us. So yeah, and it's just so happy he's one of those players. It's one of those things that you just can't explain. And I mean, for me, my prediction coming into this game was that the Galaxy were, although Colorado does look better now, I thought the Galaxy was going to win in a convincing manner, and it did not turn out that way.
and this is where I kind of have that same question because in the first half, the LA Galaxy was already up 3-1.
Yeah,
They didn't really. All they had to do was either keep possession or put one more away, and it didn't come out like that. And the thing is, well, actually, no, it was 3-2 at the half.
It was 3-2. It was 3-1, and the ref,
it was 3-1.
who the
3-2
the,
at the
the, the
half.
ref was it wasn't just the ref; it was the officiating because they were kind of a mess. They gave a lot of added time. It was like it turned out to be almost 15 minutes of added
Yeah,
time in the end, and then they awarded a
the
penalty to
PK.
Colorado,
Yeah, that's right.
and Colorado scored. But it was even then it was a little controversial, and
Yeah, it was a
Galaxy ended up
weird
going
call.
into the half up 3-2. Now I will say this, and I noticed this from the very beginning was that uh, we've been criticizing, not criticizing, well, yeah, criticizing Ricky Puig a lot on the show, but I felt like in this game he really turned it around. Like he played better than he had in probably forever with the Galaxies. It feels like he's really found his role within the club, and you could see it because he's focusing on going forward instead of having to go all the way back and carrying the ball up. I feel like they finally defined what his role should be, and he's accepted that. And there's one player for Colorado that Ricky Puig completely destroyed the entire game. I mean, Puig was going at this guy every single time, and he had him in his pocket the entire game. And that's uh Colorado player named. I mean, I can read it
Ronan?
right
Was it
here.
Ronan?
No, it was Jasper Lofelson, number 21 from Colorado. If you go back and look at the highlights, this guy, my God, Ricky Puig ate him alive, dude. At the end, they subbed him out, and like Chris Armas like patted him on the head, like, you like, it's okay, little puppy,
It
you did
happens
your
to
best.
everybody. Well, except
But
Ronan. Actually, Ronan, for that center mid that they have, he's actually pretty solid.
yeah, I think at one point like Ricky Puig even bodied him. That's how bad it was for that guy. So, but I felt like
Ricky
that was like
Bobby?
yeah. So I felt like that was one of the key factors of this victory. The fact that Ricky Puig was able to do so well against Lofelson. Um, Now you say Colorado is a lot better. I think they're a lot better than what the score reflected. But at the same time, LA Galaxy seems to be playing at a much better clip now because Ricky Puig has really bought into the system now. I really get that sense. I don't know if you guys see it that way, but that's the way I feel about it.
No,
I
yeah.
see it. I see it.
Um, what do you see, Willis, with
I
this
see that.
new?
I see that. Puig, like you said, is starting to buy in. Maybe not completely because you still see him kind of drop back sometimes here and there, but it's just not as often as we were used to, and as often as he was doing it in the beginning. And I think that also has to do with the spacing. Um, Paintsil and Fagundes give him that space in order for him to work in that middle. Um, Fagundes likes to spread out wide, and Paintsil likes to make those runs behind the center backs. And so that's something that we don't get from Joveljic because he's just not as fast. So it's a different type of game that they play.
Hmm.
Maybe that could be something that Vanny might be wanting to pursue as well. Maybe playing with Paintsil up top for a half or so, and then bringing in Jovic or vice versa, having Jovic and then putting Paintsville up there up top when they make the sub instead of bringing Sunbury in.
Don't you dare speak with my son
that
Betty like that, bro.
that might be a good option. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot more spacing with Fagundes, Paintsville, and Peck in that front three.
I want to say that Fagundes gets a lot of credit for creating a lot of that space because not
Mm,
only does he do it on the wing, uh, he creates good moments when he's playing in the middle as well.
yeah.
I know because Joe Willich is out, we had to start Fagundes out wide. And I'm thinking in these two games, when Payne still starts, I kind of like that. Not to take away from what Dejan has done, because I think once Jovic comes back, this team is going to be even more dangerous. And of course, we'll talk about some rumors of players coming in during this summer transfer window. But yeah, Fagundes, he needs a lot of credit for what he has been to this club this season and these past two games. He's been incredible. All right, boys,
You know,
quick.
oh
Okay, go ahead.
yeah, there's one more observation, and it's pretty obvious at this point about the depth of the team and how the flexibility of the players that Vanny has on his roster. That you could lose Ricky Puig, you could lose Dejan Jovalic, and you're still going to win games. And
Yeah.
they find
Mm.
ways to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But God forbid they lose Eric Zabaleta, because then things will fall apart for real, man.
Well, let's
Is
keep it
he
honest.
is he inactive?
I'm not sure, but I mean, if he's needed, he put on his Captain Selecta jersey on,
Let's go.
then throw the Galaxy jersey up top, and get ready, baby. All
Put some
right,
pupusas in his pocket.
yeah. So
Pusa pistols.
in this match, we're gonna do quick awards. Edgar, give me your game is off, your honorable mention, and your NAG standing.
Um, trying to think. As far as game is off, man, you're asking me to remember like a week ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man. Um, I don't know.
The whole defense.
No. Well, I just feel like I would say Maya Yoshida because there were a couple times when Colorado pushed up and they kind of like instead of stepping up to try to block the shots or try to do something, they kind of like he kind of just backed off a little.
Hmm.
Or maybe I'm thinking of the Portland game, but I just get the sense that Galaxy defense, which we always saying, they do such a fantastic job not allowing goals in the run of play, and all of a sudden, people were ramming goals down their throat, and
Hmm.
it wasn't like that before, and like it was the other way around, where like they had issues with the set plays, but now it feels like, damn it, um, it's the other way around.
Yeah,
So
it has been these last two matches, 4 goals against. The good thing that our offense is on
oh no, I'm freezing.
firing on all cylinders, and we scored 6. But yeah, the defense has
Hmm.
been a little shaky. Willis, game is off. Honorable mention, NAG standing,
Wait,
Colorado.
did Edgar do the honorable mention in NAG?
Oh no, he did it.
No.
My bad.
Go
Go
for
ahead, Edgar.
Um, I'd say honorable mention. I'm gonna go Joseph Paintil. There's no, actually no. Honorable mention goes to Ricky Puig because
Cool.
he scored a really nice goal in that game. Um, and then next standing, Gabriel Peck, baby. Gabriel Peck. That dude's on fire right now.
It's pecking time.
Yeah, he is. Willis, same question. Game is off. Honorable mention,
Um,
NAG standing.
yeah, I think this might be a repeat. I do think. Oh, for Gio, I think was between Maya and Yamane, just because Yamane he was kind of lagging it on that right side, and the goals came from that side. The first goal came in from that side as well in that Colorado game.
Yeah, he let
Uh,
Cabral score.
yeah, exactly. He let Cabral score. How does that happen, dude? So I'm gonna say Yamane, but Yoshida not so far back. And I think what was the next one? The honorable mention. Honorable mention is gonna be Painter for me. He's been stepping it up these last couple of games, playing in a position that he can play, but he's not used to playing, and he's doing it pretty well. He's stepping up for the injured Jovelic, and he's making the right runs, creating space. So it's working. It's working somehow, and I love to see it. I want to see more. I want more of it.
In your NAG standing,
Next standing is obviously going to be Gabriel Peck. Gabriel Peck is just dominating right now. He is on fire. So
oof.
Gabriel Peck is going to be next standing for that Colorado game.
Yes, sir. Well, for me, I think I'm gonna agree with you guys with the game itself. It had to be between Yoshida and Yamane. Same reasoning. How are you gonna let Cabral score on you, Yamane? But they can flip a coin for that one. The honorable mention, I will give it to Fagundes. I know he's also been on a good streak, and he's been very important to what the LA Galaxy does, especially with Jovelic out, and now you have to play Painter out of position, quote unquote, because he's still balling. Um, So yeah, for this, even though I wanted to give it a paint still, since we've kind of been giving him shit on the show, and then these last 2 games, it seemed like he's gotten that little step back, and he's back on the board, creating assists. So the honorable mention goes to paint still, and of course, the next standing player of the match for me is one Gabriel Peck. There is no way this man should be out of the All Star. Surprise, surprise, he's not out of the All Star. And he's been playing like one. So I'm very happy for that. And we shall, with that, the LA Galaxy went 3-2 against Colorado, a tough team. Somehow they came into
Somehow a tough team.
the Dignity Health Sports Park and gave us a hard time.
Yeah,
But still,
facts.
remain undefeated at home. And that was very important, especially because it was a midweek game. And then having to kind of move some pieces in order for you to have fresh legs for the weekend game, which we'll get into in a bit. So great win. Great win. Let's move
There's
on.
one thing I want.
Yes, sir.
There's one thing I wanted you guys to notice also, and I mentioned this during the game. I think it might have been to Chewy because Chewy was sitting next to me during this game. I mentioned to him like, look at the Colorado players. If they're so different from a year ago, if they're playing with more purpose when they attack. there's it's not just they're just moving the ball up the field. They're playing with purpose. They're playing with like an
Hmm.
idea that they're gonna try to make every pass count so that they can try to score goals. And I have a feeling that LA Galaxy is probably gonna run into these guys at some point in the playoffs.
Oh, if they, well,
Nah.
you know what? I don't know. Well, this is not a Colorado podcast, but I do have to give kudos to one defender from them, Bombito. Very nice player. Very nice player.
Mhm.
Was keeping Pinto in check for a while, so just wanted to give him a shout out because I'm a defender, so I notice defensive players a lot more.
Aren't those the best when you see a good tackle or like
Yeah,
some
bro.
just good clean or some good help deep? Ah, I like those two actually. Players and defensive mid, you do all that, and I love it. Anyway, there's some rumors floating around about one Marco Royce. It's not even a rumor anymore, to be honest. Fabrizio leaked it that the LA Galaxy was in the works with Marco Royce and his people to try to get him over here. There was a video on, I think I seen it on Twitter. I forgot who was it from, but if you're listening to this, tag yourself so we give you full credit. He had this person had asked Will Coons, so when is Marco Royce coming home? And he said basically, let's just we're trying to get everything done so you can be here already. So it's more likely done already. Um, a player who at first I wasn't too convinced, just because I feel that the community was wanting this player to do stuff that he doesn't need to do. He's just here to fill in the gaps, basically. He's not here to start and play 90 minutes every match.
Mm,
He's here to relieve some pressure. Maybe you put him in the last minutes with the experience, and you know, those experienced players in MLS are very important, especially to a championship team or championship aspiring team like the LA Galaxy. You guys' thoughts on this basically done deal? Let's go with Edgar first.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's. I hope people temper their expectations. I think it's not. He's not gonna come in and be like a Robbie Keane, where he's gonna take the league by storm. I mean, he could if he really, really wanted to,
Mhm.
or if he had more energy in them legs, right? If he was younger. But yeah, I don't think he's at that level anymore. And MLS is a different beast, right? MLS is very athletic, a lot of running. I think he's going to be more of a Billy Sharp, where you put him in and you'll get instant offense. You put him into certain times, maybe he'll start a game and sell off, or you bring him in like late in the game. Imagine if you had to choose between bringing in Miguel Barry or Marco Royce. What are you gonna do, right? Sorry, Barry, sit down.
Nah,
I'm
Barry all the
bringing
way,
in
baby. What
Marco
you mean?
Royce.
The goat.
Right? So, hey, and having to find a place for him, like in a crowded LA Galaxy midfield, is a good problem to have because then you realize how deep the team is.
Yeah.
I still think they need to go find like a dedicated forward to either back up or work alongside Dejan Joveljic because as we see, Joveljic is out and the team is still winning, but you take you're taking somebody out of their natural position to go and play that, and that's not what that's not what they're supposed to be doing. Right? You have positions for a reason. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm looking forward to having Marco Royce join the club. It's gonna bring more eyes to the team, and man, we're gonna need it because the noisy neighbors are getting somebody who's like gonna probably go beast mode as soon as he enters LA.
Oh, phooey. Willis, what are your
ah, Bowie,
what are your thoughts on Michael Royce?
Marco El Chele Reus. Uh, well, I think it's. I mean, Reus is a very talented player. Has been for years. Obviously, he's past his prime, but he's still got some juice left in those legs. He can still contribute, and like Edgar said, we're well. At least I'm not. I'm not expecting much of him as far as a starting caliber player because he's just not in that stage in his career anymore. And MLS, as we know it, is like he said, very athletic, fast paced. He may not be able to keep up those 90 minutes. So I think the plan here is for him to come in those last 35, 30 minutes and just create that instant spark that's gonna give us that extra edge, especially in playoff games where we know that teams tend to like bunker down and really set their defense up, and you're gonna need that type of player to unlock those defenses. So
Yeah.
this is gonna it's gonna be great for the Galaxy, and I mean we still need that either extra forward or somebody to relieve that pressure off of Jovic, where teams are not going to be able to game plan for just one forward. You know, have to game plan for two. We need that desperately, I think, if we want to win the championship this year.
Yeah, and also Brugman had went out the country to get his green card for. I'm guessing for this to be possible, and we are guessing that Brugman is out with a season-ending injury. But if he's not, when he comes back, what do you do with him?
I think
I,
he's
That's a good
trade
question.
fodder.
play him at center
I
back.
think
Okay.
we,
So, nah,
He's played center back before.
I mean, you could trade him, but then it's like, well, why did you get the green card then?
Go ahead, Edgar.
it happens sometimes, man.
Yeah,
Life comes at you fast.
I mean,
Yeah,
those are
I
the,
think
that's the player you would trade, though, right? That's kind of the odd man out of the bunch. So if you were to trade, you would trade, I think, Brugman or a higher salary player like Fagundes, which I would not
no, you
recommend.
can't trade Fagundes.
I would not recommend, but
Fagundes has become a really important part of this team.
Mhm.
But Gaston Brugman, I mean, all respect to him. When he's healthy, he contributes a lot to the club. But
yeah,
that's the thing when he's healthy, right? And he's getting older and he's suffering some injuries. And we might not see him with LA Galaxy for that much longer. There's a lot of other teams in this league that would love to have somebody like a healthy Gaston Brugman.
Yeah.
So once he's fit, maybe it's an opportunity to ship him off and see what Galaxy can get for him in exchange. He's not a
yeah.
bad player.
What if I throw a little monkey wrench in your little thought process?
Little
What
Uh-oh.
Sabaneta in
if?
there.
What if a player by the name of Mark Delgado is the one that gets traded?
That
He
guy.
might too. Has another name that
Nah,
I
there's
think
no
I've
way.
heard bandied about. Um,
You're not trading
Delgado's
Fagundes, and Brugman did this whole green card for the club.
Yeah, it could happen. He's a very cerebral player. It's something that you admire. He's always thinking um, about ways to do things a little bit uh, in a bit less conventional fashion, and that works to his favor. But he is somebody that might end up getting traded. I mean, think about it. A year ago, did anybody expect Tyler Boyd to lead the LA Galaxy when he was such a vital player to that team? Um, at the end of the season, everybody's like, yeah, Boyd's definitely coming back. That Boyd, nice, and all that, everything. And we
Yeah.
all saw how that ended up. And
That boy
unfortunately for
gone.
him,
That boy gone.
I mean, I feel terrible for him. Unfortunately, he suffered a season-ending ACL
Oh, I
tear, and
know.
so
That
he's
Yeah.
out for
sucks.
the season. So that sucks for him. But he could have been an important part of this club. But hey, look, we're not complaining. We got Peso and Peck, so
True.
For,
damn.
yeah, we got. And this is one of the moves that, if he's gone, to bring in a bench caliber striker, I think you could get one easily with a Mark Delgado getting traded
Or
potentially,
Brugman. Or
or
Brugman.
Brugman. But the one that's healthier now, you could easily trade it right now. Like, here you go, he's ready to go. You don't have to wait for him till the end of the season to play next season.
Yeah, true.
We'll give you this solid center mid. You gave me, it's a give and take. And if you're gonna bring in Marco Royce, I mean, he's gonna be playing in that middle. And I think Cedillo has done more than a fair amount of work in that central mid.
Yeah, for sure. He's the future of that center mid as far as the defensive mid.
Yeah,
The only issue I would have with trading away Brugman would be that you have no other defensive mid, natural defensive mid,
yeah,
to be able to play that position. So that might be something that the front office and Vanny might also be looking at. Like, hey, if Cedillo, which we know he is a magnet for yellow cards right now, he's gonna start. He's gonna miss a game or two just by accumulation of cards, and it's not gonna. It helps that you have that extra cushion as far as Brugman, if he is healthy, to bring him in either off the bench or play alongside Cedillo to kind of stabilize the team in there. So uh, it's just a tough one. It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Hey Willis, but you kind of just said it right now. You said a really important thing. You said Edwin Cedillo is the future of a team. Of a
Yeah,
team. You could
yeah.
sell
That's why
Edwin Cedillo too.
he's
You could sell him
untradeable. I
as
think.
your
So.
no, dude. That makes him high value. You
Yeah,
could
he is
actually trade
tradable.
him be a part of a team, to be the person, the midfield of another team. He goes
Nah.
at a great value for that.
Well, yeah, obviously, but then you'd be trading your future. So
Nah, hell no. You trade a really
yeah,
good asset for the Galaxy
but for what though? What are you gonna be trading him for?
for
What
the
are you gonna
money.
get in return?
Messi.
The
Okay.
Galaxy makes money. That's
For
all he
Messi?
can make.
No. I mean, I guess yeah. If you're looking at it that way, he's probably the best trading chip you got. But it for the return you're gonna get for that, you're gonna end up
You're, you're gonna be able to fit Marco
crippling your team.
Royce in. You can
You know,
fit
you're gonna cripple
Marco.
your team. So I don't think they're gonna do Cedillo like that. I
I don't think
wouldn't.
so either. I don't think so either. He could be a core piece of this team, especially when you have young players like Jalen Neal, Mauricio Cuevas, that could come along in the same, all together, move in the same direction at the same time. And of course, yeah, Jovic is young too, and you still got Ricky who's young. You still got Peck who's pretty young. So I mean, he
The
has to
oldest
be
one
part
is
of.
Yoshida, right? Yoshida
Yeah,
and Painter.
Yoshida, Casares, Painto, Alves still young. Yaman is a little bit old, but I think Mauricio Cuevas has another player that we should mention. Mauricio Cuevas has been solid since he's gotten the chance, which I
Yeah.
love seeing. All right, let's move along from this match and get into the Portland match. Well, not match. We were talking about Marco Royce. Oops.
Oops.
This match against the Portland Timbers, who also have been kind of on the up. I think they're in playoff
Yeah.
position right now, but they started off pretty bad. And I know one of their key players, Evander, who played in the All Star today, is one of the reasons why they're in somewhat good form. But let me give you guys a lineup. In the back, John McCarthy, of course. Your center backs, Maya Yoshida and Martin Cáceres. Out left, Johnny Nelson. Hey. Out right, Mickey Yamane. In the midfield, you have Cedillo and Delgado as your pivots. Ricky Puig as your number 10. Fagundes out left. Peck out right. And Joseph Painsil up top. I mean, the only difference from this lineup versus the Colorado lineup was Casares was out, Neil was in there. Yamane played left back, and Mauricio started in the right. But pretty much the same roster. And seeing how it was a short week, this one kind of surprised me. Um, but then again, you're playing at home, you don't have to travel, and you want to keep that undefeated streak or unbeaten streak at home. So I give Vanny props for giving his team the chance to still play after tired legs on Wednesday, uh,
Yeah,
because that match against Colorado, it wasn't easy, and
that's true.
and
That's
this was
true.
another
But
match that's not easy against a Portland team that's on the up.
yeah, man, that was kind of scary too. Honestly, I Portland every time they come into the digs, I've seen it go sideways so many times. So
That's in the old days when they had Diego
the
Valerio.
old days,
Now they
man.
have
Well, they
they still have
still
Diego
got
Chara.
shout out. Yeah, I know they still have shout out. I was like, man, this was gonna break
Yeah,
somebody's leg, bro. But
and so
yeah,
right away, it was going to be chippy because Evander at the 14th minute got a yellow card, and there
yeah,
were, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yellow cards in this match, in a match that ended in a 3-2, another 3-2 match where the LA Galaxy,
copy
I,
paste,
but
baby.
and to be honest, I think this match against Portland, they should have really put this team away. I know Portland scored 2 goals, but from the beginning, I don't even think the team looked interested in coming out and playing. To be honest, the Portland
Yeah,
team, it looked mostly LA Galaxy possession. And well, let me give you the overall stats on this match. 51 possession to their 48, with our 88% percent pass completion. Total shots were even actually.
Ooh.
Let me see which one were on frame though. 6 on target from us, 4 from them. Damn, I might have been tripping then.
No, it's just Portland. They had their chances in that first half. Evander was off for the game. He missed a couple of shots that he usually puts in. So we kind of got lucky on those.
Yeah,
He had one
and
in the first half where he was just coming down the middle streaking, and he was just in by himself, just coming off
yeah,
across, and he just completely whipped it and shot it right.
and so
So
this is where I was going with the whole that they were off because at halftime we
mm,
were up to 0 and the LA Galaxy was dominant.
yeah,
That first half, the LA Galaxy had all the possession. It looked like they were the most dangerous play, the most dangerous team. They were the more direct team.
Yeah.
Um, they looked like they were ready to compete in the playoffs already. I don't know if you saw the same thing during that first half. Oh wait, is he here? He is not. He restarted. Anyway. Damn
he took the
it.
Portland route. He took the Portland route.
He took the
Nagged it.
Portland route.
No, I kind of saw the same way where um, it did seem like they were off and they made a lot of shots, but the Galaxy was on it that first half, man, and Joseph Painto, was creating havoc. Garbiet Beck was doing his thing.
Yeah.
Booch was doing his thing. Like I said,
Yep.
it was basically a copy and paste of what was going on with that Colorado game.
Yeah. And
And
the 2 assists that Joseph Painto has, being that he is the striker for your team in this match,
yeah,
kind of surprising. Well, not surprising because we know his skill set and that's what he does from the wing.
from the wing, yeah, exactly.
Him doing it as a striker. Uh, I think that's one of the good things that Painso brings him as a striker because they're able to kind of interchange within each other. So
Mhm.
if let's say Painso drifts out wide, you'll have Fagundes come in and play that quote unquote striker. Well, it's more like a
Mhm.
false 9, and they'll just know. Same thing with Peck. Like if he goes in, they interchange pretty well within themselves, and I think this is one of the matches where I think you had rhythm from Painso. Ricky Puig was starting to catch rhythm. We already know what Peck is doing. And then, of course, Diego Fagundes. And then this is kind of a scary team looking at it in this match because they came from a short week playing a tough team in Colorado. Then they play another tough team in Portland who is coming up. And somehow Evander had a shit game. And all you DPs performed. And they've been performing for the last 2 matches at home to
Yeah.
keep the streak undefeated. Something that we wanted to see from Joseph Painso. We already talked about how Ricky and Peck are ready, and it was only a matter of time until Joseph Painso came in and started wreaking havoc once again, just like he did in the beginning of
Yeah.
the season. And so it's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's beautiful to see. One thing I did not like about this match was the fact that the defense kind of let those 2 goals come in. One of the shots that was from outside was
Yeah.
horrible. Nobody stepped up for that one. The other one, I can't really recall it, but I'm pretty sure it was horrible. The defense these last 2 games have been horrible. You've been able to let 4 goals in these last 2 matches at home. The great thing about being at home is that we're undefeated and we score a lot of goals, so that kind of saved
Yeah,
us.
you said it earlier. We got scored on 4 goals, but luckily we're able to get 6 goals past the net. So that's what's saving us right now is our offense and the fact that we're firing on all cylinders. That's the reason why we're winning these games because any other team that gives us 4 goals in 2 games, you're not really looking that.
No.
Oh, they probably won these games. Like you're probably thinking, hey, it probably got donuts off of those 2 games. So
Yeah.
that's a positive for us at the moment. So we gotta do something with that defense. Maybe bring in Garces or something. Or Zabaleta. I don't know, man.
Zabaleta. What happened, Zabaleta?
We gotta
Edgar's back.
we'll put some pistols in
I'm
there.
back.
Something.
Did you pay your net zero finally, sir?
Yeah, man. But at net zero, that dial up, 56K.
I love
I'm on the Eddie plan right now.
it. 3-2 versus Portland, sir. First half, we were up 2-0. What was your impressions from that first half?
I was completely impressed by the way Galaxy handled Portland Timbers. Portland, They're not a bad team, right? If you guys saw the midweek preview I did with our good friend Lewis Olenek, he mentioned that yeah, they had a pretty good start. They actually they won several games at the beginning of the season, and then everything fell apart. They just completely just fucking went apeshit, right? But in the recent couple months, they got really good. They figured out what their issues were. They had three players on the team that have double digits in goals scored. Like you mentioned, Evander earlier, a guy came in with 11 goals and 10 assists. They're not bad at all, and Galaxy was able to limit them for so long uh, that unfortunately, the goals that they did score were just stupid mistakes by the defense, where somebody should have stepped up
Yep.
and they did it, and they just let them waltz in, pick their shot, and score. But other than that, Galaxy did a really good job overall. I felt like it was one of the more complete games, not an overall complete performance, but one of the more complete games where they stood up against a strong opponent in the West. So
Yeah.
hey,
Uh,
sometimes you gotta win ugly, man. They won ugly against Colorado. They won ugly against Portland, but these are 3 points. Each one of
Yeah,
these
yeah.
points count, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at I know that the guys down the street will say, "Oh, we got 2 games in hand," but you know what? At this point, they got to play catch up. They got to win those. They got to make those points count. But at the end of the day, literally at the end of the day, who was on top of the West? It's the LA Galaxy.
Papi,
and,
baby.
and then this is the thing too. They're one of their games is against us. So
That's another thing.
yeah, that's another thing. If they don't beat us, I mean, they're only going to be one game ahead.
And you think they're gonna win out the rest of these games? I don't think so. I mean, that means you win out if you're gonna have championship aspirations, right? As they do, then that means they have to win these last what 8 games, 9 games, and still win the extra 2, 3 games or 3 games that you do in the playoffs. That's a 12 game stretch. That's kind of unheard of as far as championship teams that go in hot usually. So I guess we'll see, but I think we can steal some of those points, and they're probably
I would
gonna lose some points as well to another
I will
team.
tell you guys something that might give you not a glimmer of hope, but just something to really chew on as far as LAFC is concerned. I'm looking at their fixtures right now, their upcoming fixtures, right?
Hmm.
Once we get back to MLS play, and including actually, yeah, and let's include the Open Cup match they have against Seattle. Um, four, no, yeah, let me see. One, two, three, four, five, six. 6 of their next 8 matches are on the road.
Yep.
And so their record, yeah, they're good at home, but they've been playing a lot at home. And now they're going to be forced to go on the road where things are a little bit different, especially when you're talking about it's, middle of summer, the beginning of fall when it's disgusting everywhere else across the country and the weather gets really nasty. Those kind of things impact your play. So yeah, they're gonna have to travel to Vancouver. Actually, Vancouver's really nice, but they got Seattle, and then on the road match for them is against Houston. Then they play against us. Then they're gonna be on. Then they have to hit the road against Dallas, Cincinnati, and so these are all games that they could lose. So
Yeah,
that as long as Galaxy takes care
Who
of
cares?
their
Exactly.
business,
We got to take care of business. That's all that
LAFC is gonna
matters.
have to play catch up. That's all.
yeah, and we can't forget about Real Salt Lake either. They could
No,
just
count not at all.
we can't count them out. Like they've been very good the whole season, and I think
Hmm.
them being on in third place is maybe somewhere to where they want to be because these next matches that they have, I was looking at their schedule as well. They're gonna have a lot of them at home, and at home they're pretty solid, and they have a forward who's on fire as well. So that's another thing that we got to look out for. But like you guys said, as long as we take care of business, I think we'll be able to get home court advantage in that first round, which is very important. Hopefully, we get the first place, but we don't know. We hope. Anyway, for this match, let's do some awards. We're gonna start with you, Willis. Game is off. Honorable mention, and next ending player of the match.
Game is off. Game is off for me. I'm gonna say. I mean, it has to be one of the defenders, obviously, because 4 goals in 2 games is just insane. So, uh, play roulette on this one. Uh, no, not really. I'm gonna give it to Cáceres. Like Cáceres had a game off. It was either between him or Yoshida, and Yoshida did a little bit more. Just Cáceres was looking like the old man legs are starting to kick in a little bit. It's just he's just not as fast. He's just a second, just half a second slower, and it's starting to catch up on him. And you're starting to tell. And unfortunately, he didn't have a great game. So I'm gonna say the Geo award is gonna go to Cáceres. Cáceres, and then let's see. What was the next one? The honorable mention. Honorable mention for me, it's gonna be Fagundes. Fagundes had another great game. He did create that second goal for Painso, that or the third goal that we scored, second goal for Painso at that time, ended up being the dagger of the match. That was the game winner, and he's just been playing well these last 2 games, man. I'm I just like the way he's playing right now. The space, the runs, the passes, everything is looking good. Fagundes for me is going to be the honorable mention.
Next
And
standing.
then next standing, I'm gonna give it to Paintsville. Paintsville had a great game. He's finally getting back on track to how he started the year. He started to dominate these games with that speed, the athleticism, 2 assists, 2 goals. What more can you ask of a person, you know? Or was it 2 assists, 1 goal? 2 assists,
Two,
1 goal, right?
two assists, 1 goal.
2 assists, 1 goal. Yeah, that'll do it. He had a hand in all 3 goals. Next standing player, Paintsville.
Yeah. Edgar, game is off. Honorable mention, next standing.
Game itself has to be Martin Cáceres. Or Yamane, either one of the two of them. Because the goal, especially that second goal that Portland scored, oh my God, they ran it right down their way. And I guess you could also say maybe Peck could have done something because Peck was following him as he was running towards the goal. But at this point, you're not going to expect Peck to run all the way back when one of the defenders could just step up and either block his lane or just foul the guy, right? Just foul, tactical foul. But
Mm-hmm.
nobody stepped up. And once again, like we said in the other game, pick a spot, take a shot, goal, right? um, Made things a little bit more interesting than they should have. I feel like just like in the game against Colorado, which should have been 4-1 Galaxy, I feel like the score in this game reflected didn't quite reflect what was really going on in the field, which was Galaxy was playing. I felt much better than Portland. Portland, it felt like right from the get go, it didn't seem like they were all there. So unfortunately, yeah, Martin Cáceres or Yamane, they could share it. They could share, the Geo Award. As far as honorable mention, my goodness, I mean, it could either be Peck or Puig. But I'll say Ricky Puig because it feels like I said, he's playing at a different level right now, a different speed. He seems more comfortable, and which is always a good thing. And as far as next standing, it has to be Joseph Pate. So one of the better games that he's played in a while. He produced, like you said, like Willis said, he had a hand in every goal. And I feel like I was saying that he was dealing with some level of fatigue in recent games. It kind of feels like somebody got in his head and said, "Hey, you give it a complete full on effort in this game, and then you got the next like week and a half off, so you could just sit around and do nothing. Maybe take the game off against San Jose, and then you have an extended layoff. So I kind of feel like that. Maybe he just came in and said, "I'm going to play hard," and then just take a break.
Perfect. Next standing,
Yeah, I
Paintsville.
said Joseph Pinto.
Pinto.
Yeah.
All right. Game is off, goes to Martin Cáceres. Sorry, old man. You're looking my age.
I was about to say that.
Dude, that dude looks older than me, man.
I
You're
was
looking
gonna
like.
say the exact same thing. You're looking like Brian Touch.
And honorable mention, we'll give it to Gabriel Peck. Man's on fire. It could have went to either one of the DPs. Oh well, all DPs put in work this match as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After I give my awards, I'm gonna give you guys some numbers of what all our 4 offensive players have
Oof.
been doing this season, and they're beautiful numbers. So yeah, for me, the honorable mention is gonna go to Gabriel Peck. The next standing player, because I haven't given them to him in a while, is gonna be Joseph Painsil. Glad that he's getting back into form. He probably heard our show talking shit about him, so we're glad we're your motivation, sir.
Joseph.
Yeah, and the thing is, on that goal that he scored, the ball that Fagundes gave him, just to cut in
Oh
between
my
those two
goodness. He
different,
took off,
Yeah.
right?
it was beautiful. And just to finish, it looks like the old paint still, the one that we thought was going to be MVP at the beginning of the season. Injuries happen, slowed him down a bit, but he's looking better. And I'm hoping that these next, it probably won't happen, but this next month that we're going to have Leagues Cup, I hope all the players and all DP players get some rest. Yeah, this might be an important tournament to try to get a position in Champions League. But to me, that shouldn't be priority number one. Priority number one should be MLS Cup, getting that 6th star, and cementing ourselves as the dynasty in MLS. Then that's for me though. I know Vanny might have some different lineups for all that, but we'll see. Hopefully not. Anyway, let me get you guys to these stats that I was telling you about. These the triple P's: Peck, Paintsill, and Pooj, along with Dejan Joveljic. Those are your offensive weapons on his team. From Dejan Joveljic, you have 12 goals, 5 assists. That's 17 tallies. From Gabriel Peck, you have 10 goals and 10 assists. That's 20 tallies. Double, man, right there. Joseph Paintsill, 8 goals, 9 assists. That's 17 tallies. Ricky Pooj, 8 goals, 11 assists. That's 19 tallies. So your front 4 guys are scoring, let's see, 20, 30, 38 goals and to see 35 assists. 38 goals and 35 assists. Of course, you have Fagundes, who comes off the bench. He has 4 goals and 5 assists. So this LA Galaxy team on the offensive side is a juggernaut. I don't care what anybody says, Messi this, Messi that. Yeah, he might be the GOAT, but not the GOAT of MLS. So the team is just moving in the right direction right now, and your DP players are the ones that are leading the way. DP players alongside great role players like Fagundes, Joveljic, and let's not leave out Mickey Yamane, who has 6 assists as well. And I think, yeah, and so does Mark Delgado. You know, those are we're getting contributions from everybody on this team, and it's beautiful to see. I know you guys are hesitant to say that the LA Galaxy is back, but this is the type of shit that makes the LA Galaxy come back into what they were. And hopefully it translated to the playoffs. I know we're going to have a month's rest right now with all this stuff going on, but hey, they're moving in the right direction. Speaking of moving in the right direction, and speaking of the P's, Gabriel Peck was named All-Star for today's match. I know Ricky Push was already on there, but Gabriel Peck, last-minute acquisition, and it deserved. Man has been playing out of his mind not this whole season, but lately he's been catching fire, and he's been showing why the LA Galaxy spent all that money on one Brazilian player from Vasco da Gama. And so, yeah, congrats. I mean, for me, I don't care about the All-Star game, to be honest. Some of the games are cool, like the goalie wars. Some of the passing.
I prefer all that. I just want to see them do that and not play.
Yeah,
honestly. That would be cool. Just do that.
Because I know they don't play 100%, like as in with intent to like go in hard tackles and all that. But any little knocks that they could pick up in these type of matches, you don't want, especially in this team that's really hot, standing at the top of the West. You don't want any type of injuries. To come to Gabriel Peck or Ricky Puig. Those are your guys that are, your DP guys. You don't want any of that. one thing, Ricky Pooh set a record, I guess, for the passing
Yeah,
game one.
I was watching that live. That was pretty cool.
I didn't watch any
But
of the games. Did they do
I mean,
It was
one thing
fun.
that they could probably do, not do a full, 90-minute game. I don't know if they do that, right? I would assume they do, right? Like a full 90-minute game. Instead of doing that, give me three, 20-minute, you know,
Like
quarters. Well, they're
hockey
not quarters right at that point. Yeah, kind of
periods,
like hockey.
three periods.
What
I
if
mean, I wouldn't want that for people. One is more than enough for a lot of people. So
what if they
Nah,
do an indoor MLS All Star game?
nah, man. People
nah?
would get wrecked.
What
That's
if
even
they do
worse.
it? What if they do it at
Because that
goals?
means they would have to play on turf, and all these guys will get hurt on turf.
no, you with one
That should that would be intense.
with one regular pitch, you can make what, like four indoor.
Just have them play like the AYSO kids, just run
Yeah.
Have balls
around.
flying into other fields.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
pretty
dude, I don't
cool.
know.
Um,
I feel like three 20-minute periods, you get to see everybody play,
maybe they could
instead
do
of
it like the soccer tournament. Remember the one that they just played in North Carolina with the funny little rules where it was like 20-minute. I think it was like, was it 35 or 20-minute halves or something? And then if at the end of the game you have to score an extra goal to beat your opponent unless their team catches up to you.
Hmm.
That was fun. That was a lot
bring
of fun.
bring
Maybe
back,
they could.
bring back the penalties from like the beginning of MLS. That was fun.
Oh,
Shootouts,
you mean
baby.
the
Yeah,
shootouts?
shootouts. I always thought that was fun, and I love
Hell
the
yeah.
fact that Kings League and Queens League, like all that, they have that, and it's fun. Like that type of stuff is fun, right? This is an MLS All Star bullshit. Like you're bringing people from Liga MX because you can't, sell it to Americans fully. So like,
Hmm.
just make it fun, make it different. You don't. You're gonna get crushed, right? Like from the looks of it, almost every time. So just make it fun, make it worth
Yeah.
watching. It's not just another game. Make it interesting, right? Like change it, do Kings League style, do something different.
Look
I
out,
think
Garber. Look out, Garber. Choose coming
it's
for your job.
no. I was talking last night on that show I was on. I mentioned that the question came up about the All Star game, and I said what you guys said about injuries, possible injuries. I said, why would a Liga MX team feel comfortable about sending some of their best players over here? They could pick up a stupid injury, right? Maybe pull a hammy or tear an ACL or something, doing something dumb. Because one of the things that you're told when you're playing soccer is, especially in the game, is like you gotta play all out because
Mm,
sometimes when you're not playing at full effort, you get hurt because
yeah.
your body's not used to playing at like at a lower pace or whatever,
Hmm.
unless you're in practice. But that's different. So thankfully nobody got hurt. Hopefully none of our guys got hurt. I know that we were campaigning against Puig and any other Galaxy players ending up on the All Star team, but it seems like Ricky Puig was having a good time,
He
so
was,
he wasn't bored. So that's
And
good.
he set a
Dude,
record. So there you go.
and he
he,
almost scored a banger in the regular
he
game.
oh yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
even like hockey rules, like let line change, right? Just at any moment, fucking
AYSO rules.
dude, why not? Like it's meant to be fun. Like this is stupid, right? You
Yeah.
get a yellow, nothing happens. Like, oh yeah, like it doesn't transfer back to MLS. Like
But
you right? Like it's a stupid match that has nothing to gain to the MLS.
by
There's
the
no
way,
gain.
I was thinking to myself that maybe we should go back to East versus West because I like that from the early days. If you're gonna talk about bringing back shootouts, bring back the East versus West.
There's not
Yeah.
enough
Um,
money. They can't sell it.
Yeah, exactly.
they
They
So
can.
can't
this
sell it.
is
It's
so this is where I have a little. This is where my brain is going, right? So this MLS happens right before the Leagues Cup tournament. Could this have been one of those setup situations where you play Liga MX versus MLS and kind of have that animosity towards each other? Like Liga MX rolled over MLS today 4-1. You think coming into this Leagues Cup, they already have that psychological advantage? Like, hey, our teams are better than your guys. We're about to take this tournament. It could be one of those things where you want to pin them
I
against each
don't
other and get them kind of what is it? Not heated, but warmed up to the possibility of playing these Mexican teams with the players you just seen in MLS All Star. I mean, you want
Nah,
this team to be
It,
competitive?
it's a really weird situation because Liga MX just started. Some of these teams are only like 4 or 5 games into their
oh, dude,
season,
they have
and
hundreds of years already since they started.
what?
Test of it.
No,
Or
what I'm trying to
Mute.
say. The season just started,
they
and
have two
Mute.
seasons in a year,
Yeah, they do.
so they never really end. They have 2 seasons in a year, and then they play a shitload of tournaments.
And
That's
Leagues Cup is
weird.
one of them.
They're
Yeah,
weirdos, bro.
But
I
they're always
mean
ready for these type of
it's kind of
tournaments.
cool, and there's always something to watch. There's usually always something to watch, right?
Yeah.
It's
True.
cool. It's
I
fun.
don't know.
Like
This cup ain't my thing though.
Yeah.
yeah, but
It's,
I have tickets, so
yeah. I'm gonna watch Chivas. You were saying, Edgar, before we rudely cut you off.
actually, I forgot. So there you go.
All right, well, the MLS got smashed on these in this All Star game. Let's get into some questions real quick. I know I screenshotted some from Sunday since um, we didn't do a show on Sunday. Oh, and before we go on to the questions, we have one on the chat. Update on the NAG Fantasy League. Willis is kicking everybody's ass. That's it.
Yo.
So in
I,
first
I
is
forgot it was still going.
the Impeccable 11.
That's me.
Second is Busted Balls. Third is Chef Poops. That is me. Fourth, Spenny P. Fifth is what is it? Disney Plus.
Oh wait, I'm in fifth.
Oh shit! There you
Hell
go.
yeah! I didn't even. I haven't played in like forever.
Eso, chuyazo.
Six is Karofsky's assistant. Number 7 is where is it? My Peck and Paint Cell. Oh shit! Chill. And number 8 is Gudino. All right, you guys all suck.
I'm
Anyway.
5 out of 8, baby. Hell yeah!
Let's go. I'm in third. Yes, let's go. All right, let's get to some of these questions. First, we'll go to the ones we have live today, which is one from Logan Jones. Looks like we won't have available space for a backup striker. So inside league trade. Yeah. Looks like
Yeah.
Or
yes.
what if we move Garces to the G2 or Ventura County? Would that open up a roster spot?
I don't think so.
I would think so.
Are they able to do that?
Yeah, it's a trade, right?
Hmm.
It's opening. It's what is it called? It's window trade, whatever. Take me to the candy
Transfer,
shop, whatever.
trade, window shopping. I don't know.
Yeah, all that
Take
shit,
me to
right?
the-
Like we can transfer Garces because he's played negative minutes at this point.
Nah, he's
Coming
had a
in
good
at
40, 50 minutes.
the fuck he coming in at
What?
the 91st minute every game.
No, he came in one time as a 60-something minute.
And in
so
the
he got
game
like
against
25
Portland,
points.
he came in I think 20 minutes ago too.
Yeah.
So I mean, what if
he has an
move
hour
him?
on the pitch.
We-
He has an hour.
We honestly don't need him. I mean, it's cool that we have a backup, but he's a backup of a backup of a backup.
Well,
You
League's
know what I
Cup, it'll
think
be
is kind
a
of-
place where we can
But
see him.
I mean,
Well,
I'm
that's
okay
what I
with
think that's gonna happen.
I'm okay with transferring him or selling him and getting that money and bringing, making it for Reus, whatever, Real, Marcos.
El Chele Reus.
I
You
mean,
know
Chicharito.
what that was kind of funny, man? That Galaxy brought in Isaiah Parente from Ventura County, and then they're talking about like, oh, we don't have enough roster spots for Marco Roche. Like, you just brought in this kid
no, but like, but
he's a
they come in.
midfielder too.
They come in at a 3-game sign or a 2-game sign. They
No,
don't
he
come
came in
in.
for like he signed through to the 25 season.
No
Oh
way.
yeah,
Why
we
the
did see
fuck?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did see that. We
Why would
actually,
they
I think,
even do that?
our last live show we mentioned that. I believe.
Oh man,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just funny.
Anyway,
Well, I think Lepley wasn't though, right? Lepley's going back down, so that might be the roster.
yeah,
Tucker.
Tucker Lepley. Yep, met his dad actually in San Jose. Cool dude.
He's pretty
That's
cool. He's a nice
Yeah.
player.
Tucker.
Continuing with these questions from Rock RDA. I seen that he actually got his prize.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah.
what's up.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
it's like
we saw him.
2 games ago, maybe. He asks, should we really be pushing for a cam when we really need cover up front? Um,
Oh yeah,
with
do both.
with I think with Royce, he's kind of a multi. What is it? I'm blanking
He's
out.
he's a
He's a
man of
Swiss Army knife, German Army knife, whatever.
he's
He's not
a
even a
German
German.
army
He's
knife.
Polish. Wait, he's Polish or German? I
No,
don't know.
he's
No, you
German.
think of Lewandowski, man.
Lewandowski's Polish. So yeah, he's a Swiss Army knife from Germany. So you can kind of plug him in anyway.
Play and
But
play,
no,
baby.
yeah. Adam DC 25 need to learn how to execute by not allowing goals and keeping a clean sheet. McCarthy had decent saves. He kind of always does, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I think the defense is what lets him down. It could be the combination of his center backs being a little bit too old and one of them being a little bit too young, or it could just Vanny. Nah, we're not gonna put Vanny. You know what? We need to give Vanny more credit for what's been going on with this team. I know in the beginning of the season there was a lot of teams that the LA Galaxy beat, but they weren't healthy. But we're already halfway, or more than halfway. We're already getting into this League's Cup tournament, and when the LA Galaxy is leading the West in first place, and not just that, they're a juggernaut on offense.
Yeah.
A lot of defense, the defense needs work, but we got to finally give credit to Vanny. And credit to
Yeah.
the front office who actually gave him a team that he could actually put on the field and
I think that's
create
what it
this
is.
magic with, right?
That's
Yeah,
kind of what kind of went into also this whole way that we're playing is that he's finally got the right players in place to kind of run his system the way he wants to. Instead of him doing all the job, now he's doing the job he got hired to do, which
yeah,
is coach, instead of
yeah.
doing everything else. So kind of works out. And yeah, we gotta give him his props. I mean, wasn't really my favorite coming in, but hey, he's changing it and turning it around. So kudos to him.
And we
The
have a super chat. Did you want to read that off, Edgar? Or
sure.
was that where you're going to do that?
No, I was going to talk about something else, but go ahead if you want to do it.
Oh, yeah. We have a $5 donation from Grace Contreras. Thank you very much. Says, thanks for the late night cast, fellas. Better late than never. Peck keeps getting better and better. What's the plan for the rest of the season? Win.
I think the most
Man,
important thing, and
man.
this is something that you hear any podcaster say right now: stay healthy.
Mhm.
Hopefully the guys stay healthy, which is interesting because you have this League's Cup break. And it's funny, everybody calls it the League's Cup break. It's not really a break, right? You got to play at least a couple games, and then
Mhm.
if you get grouped, then it's a break. But if some way somehow you accidentally beat the Smurfs, in some way somehow you accidentally get a draw or a good result against Chivas, and all of a sudden you're into the next round, and you're like, hey, we're in the next
I
round,
don't want
baby.
to be here.
I don't want to be here, but
It's
let me
like
beat up
that
some fools while I'm here, right?
Yeah.
And
Southgate,
next thing
like
you know,
that,
you're in the final, and you're like, damn, did this really have to happen?
like that
But
South Park
I
episode.
think the most important thing is for everybody to get healthy, so that way, when they come back from this break, they can continue playing at the same pace. That's one of the things that's a concern when a team goes on an extended break. Will they be able to continue playing at the same pace that they were? We had the same concern last year because I think LA Galaxy was starting to play a little bit better, and then they went on the break and they had mixed results the rest of the season. So now it's, can they keep it going? But that's a question every team and MLS is probably gonna have to be dealing with right now. Um, and then that begs the question. I'm gonna ask you guys the same question that was asked of me last night on that panel. Was uh, would you want your team to go, all hard for the League's Cup, or would you want them to just like roll over and lose?
All hard. Yay! Nah.
Many
uh,
man.
before I answer that question, we had one more on Instagram from 310 CLOs. My son was born 7/20/24. Santiago Moreno, future
Heyo,
Galaxy player. We'll keep an eye out for that. So
young
to answer,
genie, baby.
to answer your question, do I want them to go far? This is a chance at Champions League, which it is important. Let's not, you know, downplay what CONCACAF champions means to this region. But is it priority? I don't think so. You could easily have gotten one if you would have played well in the U.S. Open Cup, which is MLS's favorite. You could get one by winning MLS Cup. You could get one by getting the Supporter Shield, I believe. And then now with Leagues Cup. So you have all these different avenues in which you could get this. I think the one for me, priority should go to MLS Cup. For one, that's gloating rights to the whole league, that you are still on top and you have the most stars in the league. And then number two, you birth a Champions League. What this tournament does, it kind of cools down the teams that are on fire, because the LA Galaxy was on fire right now. If the MLS play would have continued, I think the LA Galaxy would have been not steamrolling through opponents, but getting more momentum going into the playoffs and actually creating a championship run that we all want to see. So this kind of lags it. It's going to be a month off, quote unquote month off. But it could be a tournament where you keep your players in some type of form. So I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit of that. Just back to what Edgar said, the health aspect is probably the most concerning when it comes to this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best thing that can happen for us would be no injuries, stumble into the
Final.
stumble into the next round, and then win the title and win the final. I mean, that would be ideal. I think that's what every MLS team is kind of hoping for. Let's win by accident with our B team, get into the knockout round, and then give it our all in the final. That's kind of the formula to winning the Leagues Cup. So I think we should do that. But priority number one for us right now for the season, and I think for Vanny is the MLS Cup. Because think about it, his job is on the line, as we mentioned before, and so I don't think a Leagues Cup is going to save his job if it comes down to it. So I think MLS Cup is his number one priority, and everybody else's number one priority right now. Other teams that are in Leagues Cup, their number one priority might be the Leagues Cup, so they might actually put in their full squad, knowing that they're maybe middle of the table teams and don't have that aspiration as far as MLS Cup. These type of tournaments are good for those type of teams, and they get a CONCACAF Champions League spot. So it's a win-win. It's just maybe not for us, but for other teams. So I think that's what it's for.
And let's not take away from the competition level either. They're playing Liga MX teams who historically have given it to MLS teams a lot. Last champion was a Liga MX champion. The one before that, it was Seattle. So there's still the battle for the CONCACAF when it comes to these tournaments. And you know what? Like Willis said, for the teams that are not in contention to win the cup here, this is your avenue to showcase what you can do to the world. So hopefully it doesn't lag too much. All right. I think I seen a question from Eddie. Yes. This question is for Willis. Which nag boy would be which emotion from which nag boy would be which emotion from Inside Out 2?
Oh man, that's tough. Okay, well let's see. Bryant would be who would Bryant be? I don't know, that's tough. Eddie would for sure be fucking embarrassment. He's a big dude, bro. He's a big dude. He's a big dude, and
with his big hoodie.
Yeah, with his big hoodie. It's gotta be Eddie, man. And he's such a nice guy. He helps everybody out. So I think Eddie is gonna be the big pink guy. Edgar is more the analyst, so maybe the red one, the angry one, but not so angry.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
From boy. That dude lives rent free in my house, man. In my
Yeah. Bryant maybe would be the Frenchie.
NUE.
Yeah, the guy who just doesn't care sometimes. Like, whatever. And then me, I would be. I think I would probably be the fear, the one that is always thinking about things. I think that would be me.
What about Chewy?
Always overthinking stuff. And Chewy's the life of the party, bro. He's probably like
You're gonna
probably a
call me
mix,
Joy.
probably a mix of stuff. Yeah, probably a mix of different emotions.
And Tony?
Tony, uh, who's Tony?
That's where he calls him anxiety.
Probably anxiety. No, I don't think any of us are anxiety.
Anxiety is insane, dude.
Yeah, I know. That's too much. I don't think any of us are that. Tony would
Well,
probably be in there with Bryant, same level with the Frenchie guy.
I need to see it so I can see who this French guy. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
mad. I'm gonna be mad and laughing if it's correct, bro. To be honest.
Ennui, boredom.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Leagues Cup, it's coming up. I believe this weekend is the first match between
Friday.
the LA Galaxy and San Jose.
No, Atlanta. They're playing their first game. Shit, I can't remember against who, but I know it's because it was a topic of discussion last night. Atlanta is playing their first in the first Leagues Cup game. I wish I could tell you guys who it was against. I can't remember. But yeah, Galaxy takes on San Jose, which is up in the Bay Area. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's this weekend though. I know. Actually, that game won't be up for a week. By the way, Galaxy against San Jose. That'll be next week.
Yeah, it'll
But
be next
yeah, Leagues
Wednesday.
Cup tournament kicks off. What's that?
It'll be
The
next
game is
Wednesday.
on Wednesday. Next Wednesday.
Yeah,
So,
next Wednesday.
so the Friday matches are Atlanta United versus DC United,
There you go.
Orlando City versus Montreal, Seattle Sounders versus Minnesota, Austin versus Pumas, and LAFC versus Club Tijuana.
Oh,
That's Friday.
shit.
That's
Ay, se van a matar, eso se van a matar.
fuck.
Where's that game at? Where's that Cholos
Where do you think
Lema
it's
game
going to
at?
be at? It's
Um,
definitely not going to be in Estadio Caliente. It's
CJ?
going to
Oh.
be at the
BMO. Yeah,
at BMO.
Oh, it's
Oh,
at
wow.
BMO.
yeah. So this year they're doing
Are they doing it on the MLS team's home stadiums?
No, I
Is
think
that how
they-
they're doing it?
Still, it's
They're
still
going
the
over there,
MLS
too.
team's home, but some Liga MX teams are going to get a neutral site as their home.
Oh, I
Interesting.
see.
It's strangely enough, I was joking about this.
Phooey.
The Guadalajara game that Galaxy's playing, Guadalajara is listed as the home team, and it really is going to be a home game for them, right?
Yeah, it is.
let's not lie.
100%.
For
It's gonna
sure.
be. I'm still gonna be there though. I know it's gonna be lit.
That's gonna be a
Yeah.
good game. That's gonna be a great game actually, because Chicha's coming back.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Your boy El Vaquero's going to be there.
I would love that.
Yeah. El Vaquero
El-
Cabo.
El Cabo.
That dude is balling right now, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Man,
I'm hating.
I want him here.
We're good with what we got right now, though.
Yeah, we'll be all right. So yeah, with these matches coming up, will we have some midweeks? Maybe.
Yeah,
Stay
I reached out to a Chivas pod called Las Chivas del Norte.
Del Norte.
right?
Yup.
Yes,
Told me
so
that
So
last
we're
time.
gonna hit them up, and of course we have our good friend, up in the Bay Area. Actually, he just moved to Washington. He covers the San Jose Earthquakes.
Covers
So
the West
we're gonna hit
shaking,
him up.
right?
Yeah. So we're gonna hit him up about that. I'm sure he's gonna be excited that maybe the Quakes have an opportunity to win some kind of silverware.
See, there it is for a team that's
Mhm.
headed towards the wooden spoon. Perfect opportunity for them.
Yeah, but yeah, just real quick, yes or no? I'll show you. Choose one or the other. If you had your choice, the LA Galaxy could compete one and conceivably fight for a trophy. Would you rather they be in Leagues Cup or the U.S. Open Cup?
U.S. Open.
Oh. Oh, I thought it was a yes or no.
Sorry, I'm sorry. But yeah, in a Leagues
US
Cup or
Open.
U.S. Open Cup.
U.S. Open.
I
Mm.
still say no.
For me, it
No.
seems more accessible to the U.S. Open. Even though it's not-
I would prefer the Leagues Cup if it's like that. I
compete
think I
with
would
the
prefer
best.
the Leagues Cup. Mm-hmm.
I am going to share something interesting. Recently, I retweeted something that's been going on. It happened in Columbus. and it's been going on not just with them. It happened in St. Louis. It happened in Austin. The different supporters groups from several clubs that did not get to participate in U.S. Open Cup are staging boycotts against the League's Cup because they want to see their teams play in the U.S. Open Cup. In fact,
Oh,
St. Louis City, their supporters, and also the Columbus Crew supporters, the Nordeca, they actually met with their front office representatives, and they expressed that they want them to push back against MLS so that their teams could be participating in the Open Cup next year. And they expressed that they have no interest in seeing the team play in the League's Cup. So it's
So
not
what are the
like,
requirements for Leagues Cup? Like, is it just an invitation, or is there requirements?
everybody has to play. Period. Even the Liga MX teams. I was talking like last night. Like I said,
No,
I was
but
in that
that's what
panel.
I'm asking. Is there requirements?
No,
Because not
it's just
everybody has to play.
no
Because not everybody
everybody
plays.
has to play. That's the way it
Not
is.
everybody plays.
Huh?
do they all MLS teams play, or is
Wait, are you
it
talking about Open Cup or Leagues Cup?
League
Leagues
Cup?
Cup.
The Leagues Cup and the Leagues Cup, all Liga MX and all MLS teams are in it.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
Okay. So
all of
then
them.
why are they complaining?
Because they don't want to play in
because
the
they
Leagues
prefer
Cup.
the
They
US
would
the
rather
US Cup.
they prefer that their teams not waste their time with this tournament and instead
Oh,
focus on MLS and the U.S. Open Cup, which they feel is more important because of the historical context of the tournament.
Mm,
Not only that, but like I said, in that panel I was in last night, like I said, Gary from the Lions Den podcast was on. She covers Club Leon. There was another fella named Manny. I'm sorry, Eddie. Sorry, Eddie, and he's a big Rayados fan. He does an English language Rayados podcast, and both of them agreed. They said our teams really have no interest in being part of this tournament. Our fans really have no interest in being part of this tournament. But now that they're there, um, maybe they can win something. But in reality, they want to focus on Liga MX because their latest season just started, and they don't want to have to send guys into this tournament, have somebody important get injured, and now they got to deal with that so early in the season. So that was something that they brought up. So if Liga MX teams don't want to do it, or at least the fans, right, and you have MLS people that don't want to do it, the hell, right?
I don't even know why. Well, I mean, I know why it was started to begin with.
Of course, yeah.
The
we
dollar
all know why,
signs.
of
Yeah, the
course.
dollar
you know
signs.
what? At the end of the day, it somewhat matters, right? What the supporters want. At the end of the day, it's if people go,
Yeah,
right? Because if supporters don't go, but people fill the stadiums, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
see, that's the
And
problem.
money moves everything, so it doesn't. They have to boycott. They have to try to get people to boycott because yeah, just like how the Galaxy wanted, whatever that guy's name was out, they
That
saw
that
What
a
guy?
that fool's
drop.
name. That fool's
He
names.
should not be named.
Yeah. They saw a drop, right? Like you
Voldemort.
hit money. When you hit the money, that's when shit changes. If they cannot make people hit the money, then it doesn't matter.
True.
Yeah, another thing that was brought up was uh, once again, why is it that Liga MX teams aren't hosting? Um, because if marketed correctly, you know that some of those stadiums in Mexico would draw. I mean, some of the MLS teams coming down to play those teams in Mexico would draw some kind of a crowd, especially for teams in Mexico that aren't making it into the latter stages of a Champions League, right, or a Champions Cup. And all of a sudden, they get an opportunity to say they play against Columbus Crew or against Inter Miami or against LA Galaxy, right? Because Gotti brought up there was a game. I think it was played in Texas, might have been in Frisco, where it was Querétaro versus Mazatlan, and like hardly anybody went to that game. So they're like
Damn.
they could have played that game, in
At home.
Mexico,
Yeah.
and it would have drawn better crowd.
yeah.
So is Leagues Cup a Concacaf tournament,
No,
or
it's
is
an
it
No.
just?
MLS tournament. It's an MLS tournament that MLS created, and they asked the Liga MX to jump on board. And
But this has nothing to do with Concacaf at all. Like you don't get no prize. You don't nothing. The
well,
Yeah,
the
the
team has
prize
to.
is
Concacaf spot.
you go to the Champions Cup, so they had to
Oh, so
like
so then
add something to
Concacaf
it.
has to be involved, right? Because if they put a
CONCACAF, I guess,
prize,
was like, okay, guys, we're proving. This is why
it's
Don
an
Garber was
approved
so
CONCACAF,
adamant
right?
at turning. This is why Don Garber was so adamant about turning his back and talking as much shit as possible about the U.S. Open Cup,
Yeah,
because he was like, we don't need that. That's a trash tournament. Here, like the League's Cup, because it's more money, more money, more money, right?
Hmm.
Especially because Messi was there, and he turned his back on the U.S. Open Cup. Which, if you won the Open Cup, you got into the Champions Cup, right? CONCACAF Champions Cup. But now they wanted to remove that prize from the Open Cup and hand it over to Leagues Cup instead, which is kind of jacked up.
Ugh.
Um, it feels dirty. I know that Chewy's gonna be like, well, you got to go with the money is, but at some point you got to also have a sense of loyalty, and this is where the fans are stepping up and saying, hey, you know what? We really do care about the Open Cup. There's historical context there. And I'll repeat what I said last night. The U.S. Open Cup is the one tournament, the one footballing tournament in this country that connects every era of soccer across the entire history of soccer in this country. Way back from the first champions, which was the Brooklyn Field Club, to Houston Dynamo, who won it last year. And you go through it, and some of the best teams have come from LA. Maccabi Los Angeles have won it 5 times. LA Galaxy has won it twice, and it's something that connects every era of soccer in this country, and we need that. I feel like we really need to preserve something like that.
Yeah.
So right now, the Open Cup, the prize, there's no CONCACAF prize, or there's no like prize for you to go anywhere, like that got taken away.
I don't think so. Right?
I mean, I don't
Huh.
know, right? That's
I'll
what my
I'll I'll, I'll, I'll confirm because
We'll confirm on the next episode because we're pretty long right now. People gotta go to work tomorrow. But yeah, uh, we'll put a pin on this topic because
yeah,
it's probably gonna be a topic that we're gonna keep bringing up, especially because we have this whole month of Leagues Cup, and we're gonna keep on nagging while the Leagues Cup's going on. So
Yeah, and I mean, and I'm gonna go back to it, right? It's all about the money. You bring in Mexican teams to the U.S. and you make a shitload of money, and
yeah,
you're
you
able to
do.
distribute it through just MLS and Liga MX and CONCACAF, right? If if U.S. Open Cup, only MLS, very few, what is it, MLS Next Pro or whatever, and uh the other leagues that play, they might not bring that many heads, right? Spend that much money. So
Hmm.
it sucks. That sucks. I mean, yeah, they're just going money, and yeah, that sucks.
Well,
you heard it here first, guys. It sucks.
yeah,
well, that does it for us tonight on a Wednesday, a rare Wednesday that the
Ooh,
Nag boys go on and talk their shit. But better late than never, right?
better late than never.
Willis, where can the people find you?
I am on Instagram as Will. I am a realtor where I do things other than nag and talk about Galaxy.
Edgar, where can the people find you?
I actually met Will I Am, interviewed him a couple of times. Really nice guy. His girlfriend's Nicaraguense.
Oh, no, say
They
it.
might be married by now.
Shout out.
Anyway, yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter as Edgar Nags or just NA_GS, and also on Instagram as Edgar Nags. Oh yeah, and please, I just published tonight my article about the new MLS archive kit collections where I rank all the kits and talk about them. And I also give you a very good dose of soccer history. You guys should check it out. It's the link's already up on my Twitter page. So, yep.
That
There you
is
go.
nagtv.com. Nagtv.com. Chewy, where can the people find you if you want to be found?
You guys can find me as Travis JA Travis Ha on all my social media. It's pretty easy, pretty simple to find.
And before I sign off, Fernando Fuentes says CONCACAF counts this as a second-tier continental tournament. He's talking about the U.S. Open Cup. Um, where'd it go? Una momento, por favor.
Thank you, Grace. She says, "Great show, fella. Good show, fellas."
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. He says second-tier continental along with the CONCACAF leagues, the Central American one, and the
Yep.
Korean Cup. So I guess there is no CC spot for that second tier tournament. Meh. All right, whatever. Money is money. Don't make dollars, don't make sense. You can find me as Brian Nags on Instagram and X/Twitter. And of course, you can follow our News Across the Galaxy podcast on Twitter, which is X. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on TikTok. You can go to nagtv.com and read Edgar's beautiful articles about kits.
Yeah.
And is that it? I think I got everything.
I think we got everything for today, huh?
I think that does it for me, Bryant, Willis, Edgar, and Chiasso. We're going to get up out of here. And as always, keep on nagging.
Keep on nagging.
Keep on nagging.
Keep
Many
on
men
nagging.
wish death upon me.